Did you know that Ohio has a long history of drag? That's right, gender-bending performance has been part of the state's story for well over a century. Right now, the Ohio House is considering HB 249, a bill that would ban drag in any venue where someone under 18 might be present, even if there are no minors there. It would label all gender-diverse performance as obscene and harmful. So let's take a moment and look at the real history of drag in Ohio, and you can decide for yourself whether you think that label makes sense. Ohio was actually an early adopter of anti-cross-dressing laws. Columbus passed one of the first citywide bans in 1848, and other cities followed suit. These laws were enforced well into the 1970s. But despite the legal risk, audiences across the state were hungry for gender impersonation acts. From the early 1900s through the 1950s, vaudeville stages in Ohio's major cities regularly featured cross-gender comedy and performances, with especially large vaudeville stages in Cincinnati and Cleveland. Scholars debate how queer these acts were by today's standards, but many performers were part of the queer community, and this tradition laid the groundwork for modern drag. In 1964, Korean War veteran David Zimmer helped spark a Columbus tradition, the Berwick Ball. The ball was a formal Halloween event that created a safe space for queer people to celebrate together at a time when bars were frequently raided. Zimmer hosted each year in drag as Dolly Devine, and the Berwick Ball became a cornerstone of queer life for more than 3 decades. Fun fact, memorabilia from the Berwick Ball is preserved at the Ohio History Center. You can see it for yourself. Meanwhile, in Dayton, a group of friends on Rubicon Street began performing together in 1984, becoming the comedic drag troupe known as the Ruby Girls. They're famous not just for their comedic performances, but for their philanthropy. They raised over $3 million for HIV/AIDS community care and other LGBTQ+ causes since the 80s. Fun fact, the Ruby Girls are now a registered nonprofit committed to community care, education, and social justice. Back in Columbus, the lesbian bar Summit Station, also known as Jack's, became a home for drag king performances beginning in the 1970s. The His Kings and other performers raised funds for HIV/AIDS programs, anti-violence organizations, and local nonprofits. In 1999, performers who got their start at Summit Station hosted the first International Drag King Extravaganza, which went on to become one of the world's largest annual drag king gatherings. Fun fact, Summit Station received an Ohio historical marker in 2023 recognizing this legacy. And in the 21st century, Columbus became home to one of drag's most recognizable families, the West family. Nina West and her drag mother Virginia are at the helm of the West family. Nina founded the Nina West Fund at the Columbus Foundation in 2015, which has since raised more than $2 million for organizations including Equitas Health, Dress for Success, and Kaleidoscope Youth Center. Fun fact, Nina West competed on season 11 of RuPaul's Drag Race. Bonus fun fact, Miss Gay Ohio 2026, Anissa Love, is a member of the West family. So why does the history of drag matter? Because drag has always been embedded in Ohio's cultural fabric. Drag performers have built community, raised millions for charity, and created safer, more joyful spaces, especially for LGBTQ+ people. Their impact stands in stark contrast to the idea that drag is inherently harmful and obscene. Hi, I'm Svet, and I use she, her pronouns. If you learned something today, drop us a like and follow us for more educational content on Ohio's LGBTQ+ community. And tell us in the comments, how has drag positively impacted you?